You are exalted. You own the life you gave to me. Your spirit air is all I breathe. You have my heart, you think of me, and you know the cost of my offering. You own the life you gave to me. Your spirit air is all I breathe. You have my heart, you think of me, and you know the cost of my offering. Oh, Yahweh, Yahweh exalted, Yahweh for.
Hello friend, thank you for stopping by. My name is Annette and I am so very grateful that you have clicked on this video. I want to talk to you today about something that I am so sure that, as you must have seen from the title of this video, it is something very controversial, but I am so very sure that if you stick to the end, you will change your mind. Okay, well, let's dive into it. I know that this topic is something that a lot of people usually don't really want to or like to be so open about, but I am coming straightforward to you with my experience, and it is not just based on a word that I've heard from other people. It is something that I have personally experienced, and I just think that it is high time for people to stop feeling and thinking about what other people would think about them, because I believe that sometimes we go through these experiences because the Lord wants us to use those experiences to kind of like share and help other people who are maybe working in probably the same kind of circumstances and they're looking for a way out. Anyway, you may be wondering now, and I get to the point. Here is the deal. I come from a family that worshipped idols. Yes, you heard it. And so I have battled half of my life, I would say, with demonic entities. I don't know if you've ever heard anything about ancestral spirits. Ancestral spirits are real. I don't know if you've ever heard anything about familiar spirits. Familiar spirits are real. And the list goes on. And I don't know about you, but I believe that a lot of circumstances that we find ourselves today in, they have their roots from the spiritual realm. Well, it's a long story. I already mentioned to you that I come from a family that worships idols. Yes, I repeat that. I come from a kingly or a family that you would call a royal family, and one of the main religion you would call, one of the main activity that it's just normal. You will see it like normal. They call it tradition. They call it culture. It is the worship of idols. And when I say the worship of idols, I am not talking about something that is done in the dark or it's hidden. It's something that is really done openly. I talk about the worship of water bodies, that is like trees, waters, especially the water. So what I'm trying to say is that one of my battles, when I declared that I have given my life to Jesus and I made him the Lord over my life, and I said, Lord, I want to follow you. The moment I declared that, these spirits, which had been, I would say, had been lying dormant, and they kind of like opened their eyes and they went like, what? Did I hear the name Jesus? And from that moment, they started battling with me. So actually, my warfare began while I was a child. At the age of 13 or 14, something like that, I gave my life to Jesus. And I remember back then that it was really a war, but it is today that I am beginning to put things together and understanding why it was such a warfare at that age. Us being tormented, us being beaten, us being asked to renounce that whole born again thing. I understand today that it's something that the devil, how will I put it? It's a reaction that was coming from this whole ancestral worship and all of that. So, where maybe you are someone who knows for sure that the Lord has spoken to you, that you have a calling of the Lord on your life. I don't know what the Lord has called you to do. Maybe you've been called to be a prophet. Maybe you've been called to be an evangelist. Maybe you've been called to be one of the fivefold ministers, or whatever you have been called. I know that you have been called. If you are a Christian, you have given your life to Christ, I know that you have been called to do something. Listen up, the Bible says in Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5, the Lord talking to Jeremiah said that I knew you even before you were formed in your mother's womb. That means that not a single one of us came to this world just because like it's a coincidence, like so many things that it is. No, you came to this world on an assignment. You were here to do something. You didn't appear here by mistake. You are carrying a mandate on your life. The Lord has put you here on an assignment to do something. But if you are like me, who has this kind of things going on, like in your bloodline, all this ancestral worship, all this demonic kind of stuff that are called tradition, then I tell you, my brother, my sister, if you do not go back and tackle with the roots of this demonic stuff, like breaking all those things legally, I promise you, you will probably never really walk into that which the Lord has called you to do, which is so very unfortunate. And so that is the history, or the kind of like my experience. When I came to the realization, when the Lord himself talked to me about him having an assignment for me, about he has called me to do stuff, I actually was excited, right? Because I thought, okay, yes, Lord, let's get to work. But little did I know that that was the moment that these entities, which have been kind of like claiming some kind of ownership over me, woke up. They woke up, and I can promise you, they resisted me with every bit of energy that they had left in them. I had to battle with, all these marine spirits, spirit husbands, spirits of setback, spirits of death, you can name them. And so I really sometimes kind of like, I feel so sorry for people who really do not want to believe that this world, there is more to it than the eyes see. A lot of people are so dependent on this 3D, like what they see, what they hear, what they feel. And you know what I'm trying to say? What you see, that's what a lot of people are dependent on, and they don't want to hear anything else. But they are forgetting that the truth is this: the spiritual world, which is the world that we do not see, controls this physical world. And so, for you to be successful in this physical world, you will have to fix things in the spiritual world. That means that you will have to look back, look past you, look past your father, your mother, look past your granddaddy, look past those people that are here. Go back into your bloodline, go back into your history. You will find out that there is a whole lot of things going on there that you'll be astounded, okay? And so, anyway, going back to my history, given that I already mentioned to you that the Lord spoke to me, he announced to me, he's calling upon me, the office he has called me, the area he has called me to work in. And from that moment, I began having all kinds of battles in my life. The first set of battle that I had to fight with was these ancestral demons. But they were at the same time mixed with some kind of occultic demons, because all these things, they work hand in hand. The ancestral demons, they are not just how do I put it? They work hand in hand with some kind of, you cannot quite separate the two. Ancestral spirits and occultic spirits, they are all working together. So if you are someone who has the bloodline, who has a royal bloodline in you, I don't care what you want to say to me. I am sorry to tell you that you cannot convince me anymore that it is just culture, that it is just something that is harmless, that everything is good and fine. Well, I may say everything will be good and fine until the day that you have given your life to Christ, until the day that you are woken up to the reality that there is a God and that God has called you to do something for him, and you begin wanting to build a relationship with that God. That is the moment that you will realize that the devil actually, the devil is so wicked. He is so cunning. He's so horrible. I have no words to describe how wicked. There is no extent he won't go just to make sure that at best he will take you out. But the Bible says in John chapter 10 verse 10, the Lord speaking, he said that the enemy comes not but for to kill, to steal, and to destroy. But I have come that you will have life and have life more abundantly. So that was my foundation. I was standing on that word, and I was looking around me. Hair was breaking around me. My marriage was upside down. Finances there was nothing to write home about. There was this cycle of failure in my life that it doesn't matter. Basically, I'm not exaggerating. It doesn't matter what I started. It doesn't matter what it was. It would fail. It was a guarantee that it would fail. I couldn't secure a job. I couldn't move any forward. My life was just kind of like in turns, going like that, in cycles. That's what I mean by in turns. My life was in cycles of failure, some really hideous, wicked cycles. And so you might be going through something like that, and the reason I am making this video is just to give you an awareness that if you are going through something like that, please look past your physical circumstances and always have it on your mind that there is this word in Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. It says that our warfare is not against flesh and blood, but it is against principalities and powers in heavenly places. And I, for one, I never really understood what that meant. Okay, so that means that sometimes you might be thinking that the war you are going through is with your boss. The battle you are fighting is with your spouse. The battle you are fighting is with your children and all of that. No, I tell you, my sister, my brother, the root cause of that problem is 99% of the time rooted in the spiritual realm, and all you need to do is really get back to God, get your relationship with God fine. One thing also that I have to take this opportunity to mention is this. A lot of us Christians, those that have really given their lives to Christ, we kind of like have this religious attitude that we actually think that going to church on Sunday is all it takes. The singing, the worshiping, the prayer. I don't know, prayer is good, right? But all of that, usually it really doesn't solve most of the problems. What God is looking for, what I have come to experience is that God is asking and looking for you to establish a one-on-one relationship with Him. When I say one-on-one relationship, what am I talking about? I am not talking about that kind of a relationship or that kind of a Christian that sits and expect that the pastor will pray for her or for him or for his troubles. When they get their problems, what they do is, okay, I pay my tithes or I give offerings, so I call the pastor and get him pray for me. Or they would just do, this kind of lukewarm religious kind of prayers and think that that's it. But if you are really somebody, I want to assure you that if you know for sure that the Lord has called you, that there is something you want to do. This thing about calling, anyway, it is not necessarily only about the fivefold ministry, like I said. It might be just something, the Lord might put it on your mind to do some kind of a business, right? To do some kind of, I don't know, to come up with some project that will really, it will establish you. It will be a blessing to other people because it will provide job opportunity to other people. And if you do not put things right with the Lord and put things right with yourself, look into your foundation, look at what has happened in the past, I guarantee you will not go forward. I'm talking from experience. And so, how did I find out that it is that my problem was with my foundation? My problem was from my bloodline. How did I find that out? As soon as I started praying, when the Lord spoke to me, I became like, okay, I want to get to know God, right? I started trying to nurture a real relationship with God. But the moment I began pressing into God was the moment the devil began pressing in also. It started with some really hideous kind of dreams I would have. This cycle of horrible, you dream of these snakes talking, you dream of these snakes chasing you left and right. You dream of all these horrible things. Some people will wake up from these dreams and they'll just go, yeah, I had a dream. There was a snake. It was chasing me. Or I got bitten by a snake or some animals or stuff like that. And they just don't even realize that these are, how do I put it? This is the Lord, in a way, revealing to you, letting you see basically what is going on in your life so you can fix it. Fix it how? Through prayer. Fix it how? Through knowing Him more. And He will give you the power to fix it. But then we just ignore those things, And so I began having all those dreams, and those dreams would be repeating themselves, the struggles with some men claiming to be husband, and stuff like that. In the dreams, you wake up and you would just throw those things. But then when I started praying and pushing into prayer, I would do warfare, I would do all kinds of things, but then it would intensify. I remember a day, I remember a day that after my prayer, I went to bed, and as soon as my head hit the pillow, I began having this dream. And this dream, I saw these creatures. They had the shape of a of humans, right? And they basically had a head full of hair and some kind of one eye in the middle center of their face. And those things, they were just like after me, and I had ran and ran until I couldn't run anymore. And by the time I knew it, they had put me in a circle. They surrounded me. And I remember that day I looked up to heaven and I made a prayer, and I knew, to me, that was my last prayer because well, it's over. These things very dark, very hideous. They had those teeth that are kind of like interlocking into each other. You would only see that in some kind of a really horror movie, right? And so these things started pressing into me, and in that, as I looked up and I made that prayer, I said to the Lord, Lord, I think and I believe that today is my last day on earth. And please, if I die, please accept my soul and take care of my kids. I named them. And when I said that, I saw the heaven open up, and I saw some light coming in the form of like a tunnel like that. And it came over me. And basically, it swallowed me. It picked me up, and I found the light was so strong and so bright that I couldn't keep my eyes open. I could actually not kind of like really. I had to hold my eyes tight, right? And even with my eyes shut, I could feel the blinding of the light from the burning from coming from the light. And so I was moving in a speed that was kind of like really the speed of light, very fast, right? And I was going upward, but my eyes were shut. And after a while, I actually felt my feet, the sole of my feet, touch something as soft that I thought it was a carpet. I thought I'm standing in someone's living room or something like that. But when I opened my eyes, I felt secure because I didn't feel the light again. I opened my eyes, and I was so surprised because the atmosphere was totally different. It wasn't like the atmosphere here on earth. The colors of everything, the flowers, the trees, the everything that I saw there was so beautiful, so bright. The flowers were so beautiful. I could hear the sound of voices, praise and worship going up from this building, or I don't know how to call it, a mansion or villa. I don't know what term you would like to use for that, but it was, everything there was so precious and so beautiful that my breath, I was short of words looking at it. The colors, the yellow, the greens, the blues, everything is so intensive that it feels like the green color you see here or yellow is just a shadow of the reality of what I saw, which I felt I was taken to heaven. And in that moment, I heard the Lord spoke to me and said stuff to me. And one of the things he said in the end was like, turn around. And when I turned around, it felt like the earth, I could see the earth down below, very dark, in darkness, and I could see these creatures, these demons that were after me, biting their hand. And in my culture, when you see people doing this, they are regretting. They were like in regret. They were like in hate. They were in a rage of anger. They were cursing. They were throwing all these words of blasphemy. Like really regretting the fact that they didn't get me. And I heard the Lord made a promise to me. He promised to me that if I would stick on his side, if I would stay with him, if I would stick on the side of the light, he will not let any of this touch or harm me. And so what I am trying to say to you is that most of these things that we are going through, most of the battles that we are fighting, they are not flesh and blood. There is a lot to it that you need to ask the Lord for revelation so that you can fight these battles, because in the end of the day, or at the end of the day, the Lord gave me victory over all these situations. So I definitely think that we will rest this video for now, because there is a lot to talk and we don't want to just congest everything in one video. I'll probably make a part 2 to this video, and if you like this, if you're someone who feels that what I'm speaking is resonating with what you have been experiencing, then please thumbs up this video, subscribe, or maybe comment and let me know what part you really want for me to elaborate on. I will definitely talk about my deliverance, how the Lord delivered me from this ancestral spirits, and it wasn't just about prayer and fasting and stuff like that. Because have you ever realized that every time in your church there is a deliverance service going on every month, and at the end of the month, the people that got delivered last month, they are again on the line waiting to be delivered, the same manifestation. Something is going on there, because it is not just with the devil. It's not just about prayer. It's not just about fasting. The devil is a very legalistic individual. And when he has something against you, especially something that is rooted in your bloodline, with your bloodline, there is a whole lot involved in that than you just praying, and sometimes even the warfare that we do, it even compounds the problem. And so, like I say, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then let me know, and sure, it's going to encourage me to make the next part of the video. So for now, remain blessed, and I pray that you will be strong. I pray that the Lord is with you. I pray that the Lord, if you keep on putting your trust in him, he is faithful. And I know that you are not watching this video by coincidence. This video is activating something in you. You might have been asking questions, and I am sure that the Lord is up to something. So we bless the name of the Lord, and I bless you, and I hope to meet you again next time in good health, and we will all strive and thrive in Jesus' mighty name. Bless you. Bye-bye for now.